Missed a comeback on the sideline. Really need to get a stop here and get the ball back, and we need to stay ahead of these guys. We need to get ahead just because of their quarterback situation. So we need to find a way to get a stop here, go down and score, and the more we can score and keep them out of their mode of running the ball and force them to throw gives us a shot. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Well, Tori, they may have got the stop there. It appears the punt team is going to come onto the field, so Scott Loeffler can be happy after that interview. And the defense blow up.
Well, you remember Scott Loeffler was on the sideline. It was a breakthrough win 2 years ago against Minnesota in Minneapolis. And gave the entire program a game ball that has the score 14-10, the date, as a reminder of what they did that day. Something that Minnesota's hoping to shake today against the Falcons 2 years later. And the Crawford punt is fair caught by Embry. And Bowling Green does get that stop that Scott Loeffler was just talking about.
Yeah, their defense really bows up there on that drive as both teams had some explosive plays to start the game. Now things are sort of settling in a little bit.
Well, Bowling Green, they played one of the toughest schedules nationally for a group of 5 team this year. They had a rough start, both injury wise and schedule wise. Included a trip to the Big House where they played well against Michigan. They had 3 picks in that game on J.J. McCarthy, and then the back half of the season they only lost 1 time, heartbreaker to Toledo.
Yeah, way to finish strong. And how about this? Our first quarterback change of the game as Camden Orth is going to check in here for the Falcons.
And it's been all Bazelak to this point behind center. Orth doing what he does best on his first snap. Dustin, this is a guy that is from Gainesville, Florida. He's emotional. He's vocal. He runs physical like you just saw. You know where my mind's going, right? There have been some Tim Tebow comps to him in the MAC.
Yeah, there have been. He's not a lefty, but he certainly can run like Tebow and is from Gainesville, so I can see that. He's had a heck of a season. Carried 64 times. And in this game in particular, it's the last game of the year. Both quarterbacks have been banged up. They're going to run them as much as they can. That's the first quarterback run, by the way, of the game. Now the second for Camden Orth. That one's going nowhere.
You didn't seem down with the Tebow comparison.
I mean, that's pretty high praise. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Tebow gets a lot of comparisons. But he's a big dude. I mean, listen, 6'3", 225. And the thing that he has is that power, right? The physicality from the quarterback position. Not a lot of people want to bring him down. I certainly wouldn't.
No.
I know you wouldn't.
Definitely not me. I'm the 3rd best tackler on the crew.
We'll get more into that.
Orth loses the ball. On his first drive at quarterback, Orth lost it. And they'll have to uncover.
I think Bowling Green got it back the last second.
And it will be 4th down. Oh man,
that was what a save that was, just on that mesh point. As you see big number 0 Anthony Smith get in there, he's the one that tackles the tailback. Actually, they're trying to hand the ball to Fannin. They snuck Fannin in at tailback there, and Lindenberg was the one that almost came up with the ball.
Bowling Green survives what would have been first down inside the red zone for Minnesota. So Redding back to get this punt. And he'll have a shot at a return. And it won't get very far. So 55 yards to get for Cole Kramer coming back onto the field as the first Minnesota quarterback to make his first career start in a bowl game.
Welcome back to Detroit, Michigan, the Quick Lane Bowl. Bowling Green back on defense. Takeaways have been the theme for the Falcons this season. They've had 27 takeaways. You see that pick there of J.J. McCarthy. They picked him off 3 times, and he was only picked 4 times this season. Interceptions galore for the Falcons. They had 16 on the year. Do want to make note that 8 of those interceptions, 4 apiece by the top 2 corners, not playing in this game. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the rest of the ballgame.
And Jordan Oladokin and Jalen Husky are out, but that guy is part of replacing that gap. Davon Ferguson, he can play in the box, he can play at corner. He has the TFL.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of picks this year as well. So he's sort of moving around, you know, not having Jordan Oladokin and also Jalen Husky, the top two corners who are not in this game, one in the portal, one out because of injury. So that moves Ferguson over from the nickel spot to actually play corner. And then they move Jalen Burton inside. So it'll be interesting to see how Ferguson holds up. You see him there at the bottom of the screen wearing number 4.
And Kramer away from pressure. And Kramer, this is what he's done most of his career as a Wildcat quarterback, with no fear into the second level.
His fiance is happy, getting a chance to cheer for Cole Kramer. Somehow he escapes the rush by Ferguson, and that thing just opens up, and nobody can make a tackle down the field. It's a very similar play to his touchdown run, by the way, 2 years ago against Bowling Green.
I think Katie Miller, his fiance, watching that, that's better than figuring out, are we going shrimp or are we going chicken?
Yes.
At the reception dinner. Their wedding 40 days away. Put that on hold to play in this game. Done with football after this. Cole Kramer. Taylor threw arm tackles and then threw a big blow at the end of it. And he has a first down for the Gophers.
Yeah, that was a huge explosive play now that sets up an opportunity here with a little Wildcat and Taylor. And the Gophers just kind of pounding this defense now.
That's the identity of this offense, led by Greg Harbaugh and Matt Simon as the coordinators. Black and blue, and they want to bruise you. Off of the fake to Newman, it's Taylor. You got both those running backs in there, one that replaced the other when Taylor was injured. Great story, Jordan Newman, from a 5th stringer to a starter at the end of the year. What do you think? Let Kramer sling it down here again like they did the last trip down here?
I personally would go back to the quarterback run. You've got Newman in the game. You've got 12 personnel with the 2 tight ends. Maybe a little play action bootleg.
It is play action. Kramer back to the end zone, and that is incomplete with 2 guys down in the turf. Daniel Jackson.
These got tripped up. It was Darius Lorfel's 9-on-9 crime right there in the end zone. It looked like for a moment there may be PI. I think they just got tangled up. Watch 9 right here. A little contact. Yeah, a little contact.
Look at you as the DB. Calling for a flag.
I didn't say there was a flag. I'm a little more conservative. I'll tell you one thing. There would have been a flag on me.
You suggested that.
Guaranteed.
Oh, not back when. No, not in those days.
No, yeah. They call the flag on me every play.
So 3rd down for Kramer. And a timeout.
And it's a big one here. 3rd and 7.
3rd and final timeout of the half.
So what's
Minnesota,
PJ Fleck got lined up here when we come
field.
back? A big 3rd down here early. Goodness gracious.
Guys, I appreciate it. Dustin, what you got to do to get that good is you got to be able to run the 40-yard dash in heels in under 6 seconds. That's the key.
A 5.98 40-yard dash in heels. What, 6 years ago?
That's fantastic. Big 3rd down here.
And Kramer to the back of the end zone, incomplete. So it's likely field goal time for Minnesota. Yeah, so Tori in heels 6 years ago, 5.984. I want to know what she runs in actual spikes on the turf.
I bet she's faster than I am right now. I guarantee that much.
What we put the clock on you. What do you got
right now?
Yeah.
What if I break 5 flat?
What about in the heels?
Oh, in heels? 7.5.
Worse than Tori. To give Minnesota a lead here, it's Kesich out from dead on from 31 yards out. And Kesich hugs it in there. Now 2 away from the all-time record in a single season for field goals made, and the Kesich family likes that a little bit better than the 2-point try.
Well, the most wonderful time of the year rolls on tomorrow with 3 more bowl games right here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Virginia Tech takes on Tulane in the Military Bowl, presented by GoBowling.com. That's 2 Eastern. Then it's North Carolina and West Virginia in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. And we cap it off 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Texas A&M squares off against number 20 Oklahoma State in the Tax Act Texas Bowl. Another great day of games here on ESPN.
Great job. I think the Tori Petrie highlight tape inspired you to wrong arm me to get over to the promo read.
I like to be multi-faceted as a broadcaster.
All bruised up now. You got him the rest of the day. All you.
No, we'll do halvesies.
Gonna wrong arm you back. Kramer with a touchdown throw to Elijah Spencer for Minnesota, and Kesich with a 31-yard field goal. As Minnesota ahead after Odu Hilaire had the opening drive touchdown from 44 out. And Kesich booms another one. So is Cam Orth at quarterback in the last drive for Bowling Green. It'll be Connor Bazelak again, the more true passing type quarterback for the Falcons.
Yeah, Orth had a couple of nice runs there, but I think when coach saw the ball pop out on that mesh point, he said, let's go back to our more standard traditional quarterback in Bazelak here and try to get some more points on the board before halftime.
Well, Scott Loeffler didn't want to do this. He's not a huge fan of the 2 quarterback
you know
system.
the old phrase, when you've got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Well, that hasn't been the case with the Falcons this year.
Bazelak back on the field, firing to Hilaire, who makes the adjustment. He has had a ridiculous start to this bowl game.
33 yards by O.J. Hilaire here, working on the outside man coverage against Justin Wally, number 5. Just goes up and just mosses this thing. Give me that pill. Big time play here by Hilaire.
Against a really good DB, Justin Wally.
Excellent corner.
After the hit to Hilaire, Bazelak right back to him in front of Wally, and he's right at the sticks near a first down. They'll mark him a yard short. He looks fresh, he looks fast, and Max Warner, who calls the plays, is getting the ball to O.J. Hilaire. Seems like every time they throw deep down the field.
It's so funny, you look at both teams, the top 2 players both wear number 1. Darius Taylor for Minnesota and now O.J. Hilaire for Bowling Green, and both of these guys have been absolutely dynamic to start the ball game.
That single-digit novelty. Fannin to the outside, and a first down for Harold Fannin. You can tell that Minnesota, and from talking to the staff, that they were ready for all types of gadgets for Fannin.
Yeah, if you can't get him the ball on the outside at tight end, why not just throw him in the backfield, just pitch him the football, picks up the first down. Fannin, 6'4", 230, is such a tremendous athlete. That guy can do everything. He can punt the football. He can throw it at about 80 yards in the air, by the way, and can. Oh no!
And that's swatted down. Smart play by Bazelak.
Yep.
Trayvon Jones was in there on the corner blitz.
Yeah, Jones nearly tips this up for an interception. And you said it, partner. Really smart job by Connor Bazelak. Just knock that football down. Looked like Danny Strigo was looking for it, just couldn't find it.
And the play was set up for Fannin. They might have had something there if that got through.
False start.
Cedric Dunbar.
And Dunbar in there filling in at left guard is Hatukasi is out for this game.
And they've used Jake Burns in that spot the last 4 games. Cedric Dunbar as well. And Tunde Fatukasi out. It's the first penalty on Bowling Green in this game. John Joyner, one of the most disruptive players in the Big Ten, is home for a sack.
Now has 6.5 sacks on the season. And 6'5", 265. He runs like the wind. Look at 17, just really unblocked. And again, that's Dunbar, who just got called for the penalty and then just sort of whiffs there as John Joyner gets in the backfield immediately. Nothing for Bazelak to do.
Joyner just took the team lead back in sacks from Danny Strigo. Joyner came in as a really raw pass rusher. Turned it on this year. And play clock down to 0. And Bowling Green got a timeout call.
Full time on the field.
It matches children facing serious illness and disability with college sports teams. Creates long-term, life-changing experience for everybody. Since 2011, Team Impact has matched over 3,300 kids with more than 750 colleges and universities in 50 states. And that is 5-year-old Mitchell from Woodbury, Minnesota. He lives with his parents and his younger brother Garrett. Had a chance to spend some time with PJ Fleck before today's game. The flag is out on this 3rd down and long with Lucian Anderson in at quarterback, and we'll check on the flag.
I think there was a hold here on Bowling Green. Which I'm guessing would be declined.
Holding offense. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Alex Padgett, the center.
So definitely punt time for Scott Leffler and Bowling Green. A terrific start to this game. They weren't missing anything through the air, but Minnesota is really locked down in the passing game.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. You know, Bazelak started the game. He was 4 for 4 for 75 yards. A lot of those came on the big play, the touchdown throw to O.J. Hilaire. But since then, just 3 for 8 and 39 yards. So the secondary sort of settling in here for the Gophers.
Fair catch, Quentin Redding. And a long field for the Gophers, up by 2.
Well, coming up next, our bowl triple header rolls on with the Texas State taking on Rice in the Serpro First Responder Bowl. Then we cap off the day with Kansas and UNLV in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Another full day of bowl action right here on ESPN. We'll be in front of a TV somewhere.
We sure will be.
The cold beverage.
Downtown Detroit.
Absolutely. Probably get some places open today. Nothing was open yesterday.
DoorDash for all.
That's right.
There's Taylor, who's had a busy first half. Darius Taylor coming back to his home city, Detroit, from Walled Lake Western. And the in-state teams in the Big Ten, Michigan State and Michigan, were late on him. He was committed early to Minnesota. Stayed loyal, even though Notre Dame came in late. Michigan State, and the Gophers are glad
and
they
how
did.
rare is that this day and age in college football for a player to stay loyal when they get those big time offers after the fact? I think that speaks volumes about PJ and the culture he's built here at Minnesota.
Out to the edge for Jamison Gears. He's close to the first down. With Darius Taylor and that recruitment that almost got away from the Gophers, PJ Fleck said there was panic when he saw Darius Taylor's name pop up on caller ID, because he thought, uh-oh, this is going to be the one where he flips to another Big Ten rival.
Well, listen, PJ has done a great job in recruiting. And, oh, by the way, they did a pretty good job this week keeping the #1 player in the state of Minnesota right here at home in Coy Persich.
They got Matt.
Stolen from my Buckeyes.
Yep, sure did. 4-star player. And coming into this recruiting class as Taylor is stuck inside the wash. Joseph Sip in there to make the play and bring up 4th down.
So 4th and 1, you're at your own 29. I think it's a little too early to take this gamble. You think points are probably at a premium.
Looked like we were headed for the 60s, first 2 drives.
Yeah, they were off to the races, and things have really sort of settled in here.
Minnesota's played some of those games this year. The Iowa game, in typical Iowa and Big Ten West fashion, was 12-10. That next game out, it looked like they were getting ready for the new Pac-12 teams to come in before it settled back into equilibrium like this one. 9-7 with inside 4 to go in the first half from Ford Field.
Thoughts of our national champion Trevor Maddich on this first half. Plus, Trevor's going to tell us the players who need to be difference makers for each of the 4 teams in the college football playoff. And news from the portal impacting things all the way from Tallahassee to Athens, Georgia. Coming up, Connor and Dustin when you join us at the half.
Kevin, thank you. Talking college football playoff. Bowling Green and Minnesota both played a common opponent in the college football playoff. Michigan. Nice play by Anthony Smith on Harold Fannin to start this drive on defense for the Gophers.
Yeah, nice job by Smith there in the first play here. Talked about the injuries a little bit to Bazelak in Camden North coming into this game. They started fast. Things have really sort of slowed down here to a halt.
A quick 75-yard touchdown drive on their opening touch. Since then, they don't even have 75 yards in their last 3 drives. Bazelak rolling out. Smith lost his helmet in pursuit, and that was caught along the sideline by Fatah Ibrahim.
Well, Bazelak did not look injured on this throw as he gets outside the pocket and finds Ibrahim for a tremendous catch just short of the first down, maybe about a half a yard short. Watch this concentration. Maybe want to take. Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
Ruling of the field of the catch is under further review.
That's going to be illegal touching. That's going to come back. He took 1 foot out of bounds before he came back in, and without being forced out, you can't do that.
Yep.
That should be a pretty easy call, and this is going to come back.
So instead of a 3rd and 1, it's going to be 3rd and 10. Abdul Fatah Ibrahim.
Yeah, watch the foot. Yeah, the look from behind the play, you'll see him step out before he comes back. Right here, you'll see on the left side of your screen, left foot out of bounds.
Oh, there it is right there. Good job on the tightrope at the end of it, but
just got to have a little bit of awareness where you're at on the field. Yeah, now listen, you can get forced out of bounds by a defender and then reestablish yourself in, but if you go out on your own, you can't be the first guy to touch it.
Seems like this would be pretty clear. We were talking about what Minnesota has done defensively since that first drive. They lost their defensive coordinator, Joe Rossi. Went over to Michigan State over the last couple of weeks. So Danny Collins is calling the defense in this game, the safeties coach. One more look at that. There's the left foot out at the 46.
It's always tough to lose your defensive coordinator right before a bowl game. Talked about it. Danny Collins gets his opportunity, and we chatted with PJ Fleck about that this week, and he is open to interviewing everybody for that job. Somebody he knows, somebody he doesn't know. He'll take recommendations.
Which he did. I may have recommended a couple people to him. Well, let's check in with Tori.
Guys, Danny Cullen was actually the ball boy for Western Michigan in the 2011 Little Caesars Bowl here at Ford Field. Then he was the grad assistant for Minnesota in the Quick Lane Bowl in 2018. He has been around this program. PJ Fleck said that he is the guy that he trusts to call the plays today because he knows this defense better than anyone. I talked to defensive leader Cody Lindenberg about Collins taking over today. He said, you know what, it just makes sense. This guy calls the plays in what they call their Rofers Sunday scrimmages, where the young guys scrimmage. So he has play calling experience in those practices.
Number 2 stepped out of bounds on his own, came back inbounds, caught the pass. By rule, this is a foul for illegal touching. It's a loss down at the previous spot. It will now be 3rd and 10 at the 34-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes and 6 seconds. 3 minutes and 6 seconds, and the game clock, due to the incomplete pass, will start on the snap.
Got that cleaned up?
Yeah. Major difference. Instead of 3rd and 1, 3rd and 10. Bowling Green trying to take a lead back before halftime. But to Tori's point about Danny Collins, 2011, his first time here as a college coach or in any type of coaching capacity. The Western Michigan game against Purdue, they lost to Raheem Mostert, who went on to the NFL. And then climbed the ladder when PJ Fleck took the Minnesota job as a GA and Now he gets his shot. First-time play caller.
All right, how aggressive does Scott Leffler want to be here? 3rd and 10 with 3 to go in the first half.
The Collins defense showing a little pressure. They backed out of it, and through coverage, that's knocked out.
Fannin had it for a moment, but a really good job in coverage there.
As Quan Bryan had the coverage on Fannin, who stays down after that hit from Bryan.
And that is not a good look here for Bowling Green. As a take, Fannin comes inside, just cuts in on a little dig route. And Bryan gets it out.
Fannin stays down.
Yeah, Fannin's one of their top weapons. A really good job by Bryan, just knifing through, stripping that football out.
Fannin, the tight ends. Ball rolled up underneath him after Bryan came in and clubbed it out.
That may have hit him in a bad spot there, if you know what I'm saying. Those are never comfortable. As that ball was coming loose, it seemed like either it hit him where I mentioned or could have knocked the wind out of him. But we hope he's okay. That's good. That's good news right there.
Yeah. Harold Fannin walking off for Bowling Green. Quan Bryan has gotten a chance late in this season. The Axe game against Wisconsin, Darius Green, starting safety, was out. Aiden Gooseby got hurt, another depth piece in the secondary. So he slid up the depth chart and has gotten more snaps the final couple weeks of the season for Minnesota. And that was no small thing that he just did against that player, Harold Fannin.
I mean, that's a big dude, 6'4", 230. A sophomore from my hometown, Canton, Ohio. He was a Bulldog, though, at Canton McKinley.
You said you knew a Harold Fannin in Canton.
Way back in the day.
And Quentin Redding calls for the fair catch. We'll be back in 10 seconds after a message from Ally.
Saving for your next big game tailgate? Tackle your savings goals with Ally, a bank that's your ally. Back to you.
With Dustin Fox, Connor Onion, Torrey Petrie on the sideline at Ford Field. Quick lane bowl. With Minnesota up by 2 with the ball. Cole Kramer, a lifelong Gopher fan, making his first career start and what will be his last career start in his final college game. Off play action. Howell got there at the end, and that hangs up and it's picked off. They come the other way with Darius Lorfils. And Lorfils are the biggest play of this game on defense for Bowling Green.
The pressure comes off the right side. Right side as you look at it, left side for Minnesota. It's number 0, Cassius Howell. Just absolutely blast Cole Kramer. The ball's up in the air. Picked off for the 28th takeaway of the season for the Bowling Green Falcons. And now sets him up with a great position here to add some points before halftime. Lorfil's second pick of the year. That's they had 16 picks coming in, now 17 on the season.
So quick change for Connor Bazelak off of the Lorfils pick. And a chance to take a lead, and that was knocked down. Pressure in the face of Bazelak, who's been a little bit ginger late in this half from taking some shots.
Yeah, the defensive line and linebackers of the Golden Gophers have certainly started to really tee off on this Bowling Green offensive line, and certainly taking the brunt of that has been Connor Bazelak.
Well, you mentioned the interception numbers for Bowling Green. Lorfils has had to wait his turn to get in on that. First career pick came against Western Michigan in the final game of the regular season.
Now Fannon's back in the game. That's a good sign. Top of your screen.
Now they pump it out to him, and that has no chance. snowed under. Kerry Brown and Trayvon Jones all over it. It was Jones that got off that block.
Great job by Jones. A difficult tackle to make. Fannin just takes a couple shots here, back-to-back plays. And now if you're PJ Fleck, I think you have to call timeout.
They don't have one.
Oh, excuse me.
We burned them all with 9 minutes left in the half.
Bad job out of me. Can't coach awareness.
Point taken, though. If he had him,
if he had one, he'd call him. Absolutely, my bad.
Bowling Green lined inside 2 minutes.
That's going to be encroachment, I think. Joyner was jumping just a little bit too soon there.
Offside. Defense number 17 causing an offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. Still third down. The game clock will start on the snap.
Minnesota, excellent team in terms of discipline. Just their first penalty of the game by the Gophers.
And the second least penalized team in the Big Ten this year. It's been a clean first half both ways as far as the penalties. But a free 5 for Bazelak and Bowling Green makes it 3rd and 10. After the great play by Trayvon Jones out in the flat. Bazelak away from Joyner. Bazelak on the move and incomplete. Odu Hilaire was fighting with Bryan, who's emerged as a good cover guy late in this half for the Gophers.
All right, so here comes Alan Anaya.
Anaya 12 of 17 on the year. This will be
38.
Well inside his range. Called 33 officially. 33. Just to give the Falcons the lead off of the Lorfil's pick. And Anaya cashes it in.
So now with no timeouts, PJ Fleck needs to go in a hurry if they want to try and take this lead back here before half.
Comes off the Kramer pick that he threw to Lorfil's. And you've got a first year, first game starting quarterback. How aggressive do you get down 1?
Not too aggressive. You know this defense is so strong with the takeaways. The last thing that you would want to happen here is another turnover like that and set up an opportunity to allow Bowling Green more points.
This could be a make it take it situation, because Minnesota gets the ball out of halftime, deferring. We're on the opening kickoff, so they can go down, take the lead, get the ball right back again.
You call it make it take it. I call it double dipping. Same difference.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Some people call it the Belichick.
Back in the day, Aaron Rodgers, when he was with the Packers, was notorious for trying to do that. You just try and get something before half, and you know you're getting the football back, and you can steal yourself 2 possessions.
Anaya just gave Bowling Green their second lead of this quick lane bowl. And Lemecki Brockington takes this out for Minnesota, and he is clobbered across the 20. Jackson in there to make the hit. Also had help from Charles Rosser laying the wood.
Gotta love when starting defensive players are running down on special teams. And you know who else loves to see that? The NFL scouts. You know, if you're a fringe guy trying to make a roster at some point and you want to have some tape on special teams, that's awesome. He was flying down there.
He was. All right, now Cole Kramer coming off his first pick of this game and his first career start. Has a minute 33 to try to get some points and the lead back for the Gophers. And Ferguson up top side, dropped out of there after showing some pressure. And Kramer taking a shot into coverage and incomplete. Looking for Spencer. Deshaun Jones says no.
No soup for you.
Nice.
Yeah, but what that does, it takes about 3 seconds off the clock, or 6 seconds, I should say, and clock stops. BG's got one timeout left.